All right, here we are again. It's 12:30 after the news. I feel like I'm like right up on you, and I am actually because we have a smaller drawing of the actual drawing that we're drawing this week. Hey, I wanted to just say that the coronavirus is coming around, so just make sure that you really wash your hands, be vigilant on all that stuff now. So I just want everybody to be careful now. Apparently, it's like coming closer. So just be careful. Today we are going to go into doing some detail in our barn, but I want to just mention one thing first. Hello, I'm Steve Pascucci, by the way. But I had noticed, and I noticed this a lot, so don't feel I'm getting on anybody. But so see how this I saw one that has a line coming down like this, and what does that do? That kind of gives us we're looking up at the barn this way, but then immediately your eye is brought down this way like a bird's eye view, like you're coming down at it. And if you look at the bottom one, so this line that actually comes down forward would be following this line. So when you have this line, I hope it's in view, when you have this line follows this line, or this line follows that line. Okay, so this way here, it kind of makes it look like the building is behind and picking it up, kind of sort of that way. You know what I mean? Kind of like, ugh. But this way, kind of fits nice, doesn't it? Fits like it fits right in there. So that's what you want to do, and that's the perspective. This way here, if you have a crossed line like this, it makes it look like you have to climb up there to get there where you should be already there up on that height. Okay, this is no higher than the front. Okay, you want the front to be higher. Unless we were coming down, then you would see more of this roof coming down. Okay, but that's a whole different angle. I don't want to confuse you that way. But that's how you simply fix this one, right? So what you want to do is you want to have this line that connects to the building. So you want to start from here. So even if you started here, all right, so the way you could fix this now is bringing it down this way like that, and then it goes into that roof or whatever, if you go all the way. Okay, so that becomes this, like this from the barn. Okay, and see how that one line already picks it up. See, just like that. So you can get rid of that. You can erase that a little bit, pick that up, and sometimes if it's way down like that, you may have to pick up these lines a little bit. Work on that, and then I can explain. If you have a little more trouble, I can explain better. But this line wants to be this line. Okay, well, it should be more like that. Going down to our vanishing point down in the corner. Very good. Okay, so now the next thing I want to show you is how we're going to start doing the barn. All right, so let's grab our pencils. Everybody's all set. Wash your hands, had lunch, watch the news. Very good. Now, I know we kind of like played with the background a little bit, and we're not worried about that right now. I just wanted to throw that in and to show you a little bit of how that would be done. So you could see in our drawing now, right, we had this little bit of an eave. See this underneath the roof. If you look at your neighbor's house, but don't let them see you looking at them. If you look at the roof line, you'll see just that little bit, because it's not just a flat surface that goes onto the roof. The roof sits on those, I don't know, the walls, I guess you call them. So, and again, my work should be down flat on a paper. I mean, on a flat surface on a table, or a drawing table, or the kitchen table, or a coffee table. Even the floor is fine. I'm always on the floor. So what I want to do is I'm going to try to get this kind of dark on this side, okay? So what we're saying is that our light is coming in from this way. Even drawing, instead of painting, drawing has a light source too, okay? So see, just like we have this over here, I don't know if you guys did this one already, and then we have just this little bit of an overhang. I feel like I'm all cramped in a shoebox here, but I try to get the camera up closer to actually see what we're doing. So what I want to do now is let's color this part of the roof and this part of the roof only in that eave, okay? All right, let's see. Yeah, this is not the way I should be doing it, but I'm only doing it for you. And remember, there's no, if it doesn't look just like mine, it doesn't matter. If you don't even have this the funky barn shape. It doesn't need to be, because you could have just this bigger. I just wanted to show you how we put the houses together and make a little out of the way place for us to go to. Okay, so let me see. I'm just gonna continue this. And I love the drawings. I love what I saw already. I don't mean to get on you. I just wanted to show you that one little, not a mistake, but you know, kind of is. So you just want to be more aware of that. And just pick up the top line. If ever you have like that, the top line is always so long as the building is, what am I trying to say? So long as the corner of the house is the same angle. Because of course, with this one, it doesn't follow that angle because it's going back to this line, to this vanishing point. If that one followed that, it would look the same as though it was falling down the hill, like we just explained, right? So this line goes there. Anything from the left goes to the right. Anything from the right goes to the left vanishing point, okay? Anytime you're ready now, you could. Now, if you see in this drawing here, I have my clapboards are going very, very straight and vertical, okay? Nice and straight. I usually start right from the middle one, and I'll go right down here. Let me just fill this a bit. Like I say, I'm not really I feel like I'm all cramped in here, but it's a big studio. This is, it's huge in here. Let me see. So now you can start with just your verticals. I'm going to start with the up and down right at the center line. Okay, so there's that. And make these rather close, but not too close that they're going to get intertwined. And, you know, you want to see a little separation in there because that's where you get your lights and darks after we come in. So fill those in nice and close, but not too close. And if you happen to make one that's, oops, way out here, you know, of course it ain't going to happen. But if you do, then you just kind of go back and fill it right in the middle there like that with one nice little, and that's another reason I like to use the number 2 pencil is you get a beautiful point on there. And if you use the square carpenter pencil, like I said, it's okay for all the background stuff and you can use it there, but anything like this now, number two is always good. You never go wrong, and there's always a number 2 pencil around. So there's always something to draw because there's a pencil. And see, I'm just going to fill these in. Now, don't go ahead and rush ahead with the Q-tip. Have you got a Q-tip and your cotton balls too? Make sure you got those. We don't need water and we don't need a rag. Why? Because it's completely different. We're not washing our pencil and drying it off. We just want to make sure that we have a cotton ball. And look at that, beautiful. Okay, now see that? So you want your cotton ball and, oh, they're right here. And your Q-tip. So we got a beautiful Q-tip, brand new. Didn't put in my ear yet, so it's nice. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start. You start any way you want. Okay. Now go very, very lightly. Okay. Don't crush this in there, because if you go up here, go right along. Just go right along your gutter line. Let's call this the gutter line. Okay. Even though it's the roof line, we'll call it the gutter. See, now I got just that much on there. Not much at all, right? But that's going to be plenty. Now you don't want to stay. You want to stay away from this side because this is the style you're working on. Never rush ahead, and very, very lightly. Look at that. Start to color, or actually paint with the Q-tip. Is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is just stay right over here. Now remember, the light's coming in here, so it doesn't matter which way where you hit it, because it could be old barn board, things happening over here. What's happening? What's going on? See, and then maybe down by the roof line, I will go just a little bit harder. All right. Look at that. And you can always go back too. If you kind of rub it out and kind of lose it, you can always go back and darken your lines right over that. And that's how you get that beautiful effect of the barn board being separated with the shadows and all. Isn't that awesome? Just like that. See, now of course this is too light, so I'm going to go, and don't use just that same dirty side. You got 2 sides, and you got all these angles. Another side of the Q-tip, very, very lightly now. See? And I am just going to go over that whole thing, but so light. Then you figure it out where you want to make it darker. Like I said, this is all yours. You could just make a square box just to get the feel of it. I just want to, I know it's an intense drawing, but I figure we got all week long And then we'll go back into painting, and I'll show you the painting that I started. I don't know if you saw it already, but it's going to be a guy in a kayak, but these are oils. So, and they take a long time to dry, but you get such a different effect out of them. They're beautiful. I got a friend of mine, I'll just call him Jamie. I'll no last names, but Jamie's, he's coming around being a good oil painter. I'm seeing a lot of good stuff from him too. So let's see what else we got to do here. Okay, now I'm just going to continue this. All right, and if you know, that's another thing too. If you're not confident about that, you could take your ruler. Well, I don't have a ruler, but I got one of these things. And if you're not confident with your straight line, zip, 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 and just make them close enough. And but I like doing it freehand because number one, it's freehand. It's not being copied, and it's yours. So there is no right or wrong. So I'm just going to make these nice and close. I'd be going a lot quicker if I had this on a table, so please bear with me. And like I said, I'm just going to go ahead with it and just kind of, I'm going to go ahead and slap them in. I'm not going to be as precise because I'm trying to duplicate, but I want to show you the method, that's all. So I'm just going to go ahead, put all these lines in, and don't worry about the side of the building or the other building at all. Just work on what you're working on first. See now right here, it looks like I can throw it in. So I'm not going to make a full board, but just like we talked about yesterday, when you want to make the floorboards for a floor, when you're doing it in perspective, you have all those lines go right to your vanishing point. So everything from this side goes there. As you come around, it's gonna come around like this. So these get just the one right in front of you gets like the biggest one in the foreground, and it gets the smallest in the background, and then the rest just go around. So that would be the floorboard that you're standing right in front of. If I had a painting that's in the closet right now, I gotta find it somewhere, would have showed the floor. I should have pulled that out, but that's okay. So, and then I'm sure you're done with your building by now, but when you are, I want you to continue right around and start from right here, okay? And don't touch any of this for right now, but just start from here and then this side here. Don't do the roof at all. The roof is completely different, okay? So don't touch the roof. I'm going to continue here. Make sure these lines are as straight as you can. I should be more in front. Another reason I should have this down on a table. And then I can just bang that right out. And then this side here, see I have just this little bit. I'm just going to come right underneath here just to show a little bit of an eave underneath that roof. Just that little bit. Okay, I'm going to continue down. Now see, my hand is going to get filthy because I'm dragging it. I know I'm dragging it right along here, and as I come down here, it's going to get worse and worse. And I told you, remember, if you want to, you could always just grab a separate piece of paper, or I wouldn't grab toilet paper. You won't be no yelling at you or nothing. So piece of paper towel, or even just another piece of paper. Put your hand on there so you keep your hand clean and your drawing clean as well. I'm not really too concerned right now, not even when I was working on this, because I knew I was going to work on all this. So I let it smudge and I tolerated a dirty hand. But I did. And I washed my hand afterwards. As I wash my hands before the show, and I'll wash them again afterwards. Yesterday, the day before, real crappy days. But if you can get outside, if you had gotten outside, don't go nowhere. Of course, you can't go nowhere. But even if you just go out in the backyard is nice. So I plan on burning right after the show. I got my Sawzall the other day. We went to Home Depot, who's still allowed open for now. But it's kind of strange world we live in now. I don't want to stay on it, but it's a whole different thing than I could have ever imagined. And I do worry a little bit. Only because I'm old. So, but if they say if you're in good health or semi-good health, I don't know. Am I in good health? I like to think I am, as we all do. I don't run. Only if it's a 2-mile race, and then I just get up and do it that day. It's nothing I train for. So I feel if I could do that, I must be in some kind of shape. So I'll take that. But be careful. Just really be careful. I don't want to see anything happen to anybody. So wash your hands, wash your hands. And look at that already. See, now my hand was dirty, so actually I'm kind of like getting things in there. Look, here's the clean paper. There's a dirty paper. And that's only from my smudges. See, and that's pretty cool. So I'm going to continue like you guys. So I said we'll start here and see what happens now. This is going to be incredible. I'm just going to come down here, make all our lines. And this is really all the detail that we're putting in. It's all this little stuff, right? It's more the clapboards and the rocks and the grass. The rest is just, you're looking at a tree in a building, right? It's the detail in there that you do with the pencil, right? That's where the magic comes in. And so we talked about how we do 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, nice and straight. We'll talk, excuse me, I'm sorry. We'll talk about that afterwards. But see, this is kind of like 10 minutes of 3, Sue, right? We talked about 10 minutes of 3. So when you come down, let's see, where is it? Yeah, see, you come down to the straight part of the street, and then what's this? Oh, look at that. 10 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 10 minutes of 3, right? So you got that little bit of a hill, flattens out, everybody's happy. Beautiful walk up the hill. So there you go. I just thought, I hope my soothing voice, I hope she was awake for that one. So, okay. So, but I'm glad that even Sue said that she's learning things from just thinking about a different way, you know, because when you do things your way and you do things somebody else's way, sometimes the two of them make sense. Where you put them together, I don't know. What makes sense for me maybe not make sense to you. Kind of like with that statement I just made. Anyway, let's go right back to the canvas, or to our paper at this for this one. I'm just going to continue. And if you have already, I'm sure you've already got all your lines in. Let me just throw mine in real quick and just bang them out. And see right here, let's accent that corner piece. All right. Now, if I could get a straighter line if I was, again, on a table. Maybe tomorrow I'll try to put it on a table. We'll do it on a table tomorrow. And so I'm going to continue this all the way down. And see, even those scratchy lines over there, I don't know if you could see that, but it was kind of like a mistake for me scratching up and down, but I'm going to add to that. And that could just become more clapboards. The side of the barn. Okay, so now you could say, yes, you can draw the side of a barn. Maybe can't paint it yet, but I'll teach you that too. And you want these lines straight as you can. Oh, don't forget that little house too. Do this side and that side. Okay. Throw this right in there. I got the alarm clock going again. How ironic was that? I just spoke of it yesterday and boing, it went right off. So that was pretty cool. Everybody make their bed today? I hope you guys are making your bed. Even if you're an adult. It gives you a sense of something, right? At least I do. I made the bed. Well, my side anyways. And see, look at that already. Already we got a beautiful side of a barn. Actually, the whole thing has come together really, really quick. I hope I didn't ruin this by moving that. But you can see, now we're going to come right in here. We're not even going to color yet with that Q-tip. I got it in my hand. I'm ready. I'm always ready with it. But I want to come right in here. We're going to do these lines here. Remember, see right in here we have that wood. That looks like a piece of wood that we put there. So don't worry about that. I want you to go to it and then stop. So let's darken that actually. Let's just darken that right now so we don't have to stop. We're going to darken that just a little bit underneath. Make sure you do it underneath because we want to show that it's being held up like that, okay? So, this is very, very difficult. Crammed in here. I'm too close to my work. You know, I should be at least drawing like this. But because it's so small, maybe the next time, well, next time we'll have painting and I'll be right up on it. You'll see it. Okay, oh yeah, okay. So now you could just go straight through, and look, I'm going to sharpen my pencil maybe you wanted to by now. Yes, it's still kind of sharp. Still kind of sharp. But that's better. Always better. Okay. So I'm going to come right back up here. I'm going to start from the left, right to left, because I'm left-handed. You probably want to start left to right because you're right-handed. And I only do it left because it's doing it right that way. For me, anyways. So, you know, I should have a darker and a heavier hand on this. I'm trying. But because it's up in the air, don't worry about that. That's okay. We'll get it. So I'm just going to do this. And then I want you to make sure that you got your Q-tip ready. Because we're almost going to start smudging. Okay. And I'm almost there. Done. Okay. Now look at that already. Look at all the wood we have on our beautiful barn. Okay. Okay, now let's see, right in here, wherever the building connects, we want to have, well, not on the roof anyways, but right here on the vertical, we want to go right down here and darken that up because we want to show that that's a separation of the building. And remember, I don't even think, oh no, I didn't do it here, but we would do it here because this part goes all the way to the side and connects as one big long one. And look at that, just that quick. I changed it already, kind of not even knowing. I wonder how. But that's what happens. Now, I'm not going to worry about this. See how where I extended this? I'm not going to worry about that anymore either. I'm not concerned about that because this is all going to be inside. And I wasn't even thinking, so I can erase that later. So what we want to do now is take your Q-tip and just start filling it. Well, of course, you want to do the whole thing with a very, very light hand. Don't crush it. Okay, it's good. You don't want to, it's like kind of like when you blop, it's for the blopping reasons, because with the brush, if you blop and you open up your brush and you take it off, that's going to stay on your canvas. It's not going to come back up and be that little brush again. It's going to be that, right? So what you want to do is take your Q-tip and just kind of very lightly just color up here and there. And all you want to do is just change the color from the white to almost a gray. So a nice light hand on that. And just follow the same. You don't want to go across with this now. You want to go up and down and follow your pencil line. Okay, and then I'll show you how we darken up little areas as we want to. So now you take your pencil, nice and sharp. Again, very, very light. And remember where we did in the other painting? I think I got it right here. Huh, I just happened to. But remember, I don't know if you can see it right here. But see these dark areas in here like this and how it brought those areas together. It was beautiful. Remember that? Right? And you can see more and more depth. Why? Because of those dark areas in there. Right? So that we want to have some of those ourselves. So just smush that a little bit darker, just like you did there. But just here and there, and don't balance it. You don't want it to make it look like eyes. Right? So just kind of a little bit darker. And what's going to happen is you have the lines from the wood and here, what's on here. So what you're doing is just pulling all that graphite together. You're just pulling all the pencil together. Okay. Now, if you have this line would follow as a shadow down here. If the sun was coming up here, right? So if the sun's here, shining down, how would this come down? But we don't want to show the sunshine. We want to show a shadow. Now see what I do here? I want to follow this line, and I will cut across because it's a shadow. Okay, the others are just dark and light areas on the wood, so it's weathered wood. But we want to show a definite shadow. Now I put that line across, but I don't want to go across like that. I still want to go up and down. But I want that top line to be a definite line that goes across because that's showing the hard surface of the sun. Not the hard surface, the sun hitting the hard surface of the roof and the opposite side of that building. Okay? See? And then now look at that. It transitions right over nice. You got a shadow there. And then this side, of course, this side would be a little bit darker. Why? Because the shadow's there. Very good. Exactly. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And because I have all that graphite on there, And look at this. Look how quick it comes together. By the time this hour is up, you're going to be so happy with the results already. Now, like I say, if you smush those lines too faint, what do? You just go back and darken some more of them up. I'm not going to do them all, like I said, because of the purposes of learning. But I just want to get you there. This show is basically to show you the basics. And then you take it where you want from there. See, and then I'm just going to come back and I'll use my pencil and I'll sharpen up some of those lines again and darken them up. Right, and I just darken some of these over because you will lose some of that graphite as you're smushing and smudging. Okay, let me see. Now I'm going to take my eraser because we don't need all this down here. Actually, you know something? Why don't we just leave it if it's there? It's there. We'll use it because we could take our land. We're not going to use our land yet. I want to show you for. Okay, we got to finish this building and that side too. First things first. So like I said, this would be a shadow. You got this shadow here. Then what else would be a shadow? Exactly, right here. Right. So darken that one up too with your Q-tip or your cotton ball. Either one. I'll do the same thing. And then remember, this side here in the little building, this is the one you want to do here. Not so much this one, but that one is in the shadow. And I'll show you why. Actually, they're both in the shadow. So I'm going to darken this all up because it's on that side. Your light source is coming from left to right. You want to follow that right down. And anything that you're not happy with, you get a nice little dark underneath there, right underneath the ridge of your roof. You start to outline. You don't want to outline every one of them because then it looks like a cartoon book. Okay? So, darken in here. It's like when you're painting. Some people may... I had to stop some people from outlining the entire tree. You don't have to outline the entire tree. You just want to show a little bit of a shadow on one side like that, see? And then so this one, the sun's coming in this way, right down the road. This one is coming in from the left to right. And my gazebo, or my cupola, I'm not too happy with either. So, and I'll show you why and tell you why in a moment after looking at it yesterday after the show. I was like, wait a minute, that's kind of skinny. Right? So, again, we're not going to do that right now. I'm going to come over here and lighten it very, very lightly. And the beauty of this is because the more you use it, the more graphite, it becomes a tool, a smudge tool. Okay? Kind of like your tortillium or whatever they call those, those rubbing sticks. They got like a couple of bucks for them, and all you need is just a Q-tip. And if you want something even harder than that, then you can use rolled up toilet paper at the end of it, so everything could be used like the Indians. The end of the toilet paper roll, you could cut it and roll it up, staple it, and what you want is you want a nice point on there like that, okay, like your pencil, and just get a nice point on it, roll it up tight, staple a couple staples, and then you get a tortillium right there. Save yourself $2, and these times, save $2. So, no part of the toilet paper gets unused. You see what I'm doing here? And then, afterwards, of course, we come back and we have an eraser too, right? So, we can always come back in. If something doesn't look right or you want to just, see, then you play with it like this and you can add a little this and that, okay? And if you do this with the charcoal pencil, it's just like a whole different thing. Charcoal pencil is very tough to work with, I guess, is what I would say. I like it, but it's really tough to work with because, like I said, if you mess up some of those, a cheek or something, and you have the oil on your hands, or maybe you got too dark a complexion, there's no taking it out with the charcoal pencil. It's really, really difficult. Well, for me, anyways. I won't say different. For me, it is. Being a professional and all, But I wouldn't worry about it because I don't think we'll do too much charcoal work. I want to get right back into painting again, too. I thought maybe just showing you how to a little bit of pencil work would be good, and I'm glad we're doing it. But I think I much prefer, I think the colors show a more exciting show than getting here with the pencil work. But pencil work is very important, too, though. Very important, because if you want to, if you don't know how to paint that, and you wanted to draw it, you could draw it and then paint it. But I would just go in and make my shapes with the brush, wait till they're dry. Then I would put, because we're painting it, see, we put this on first, and then we went to the back of the building, remember? So we started somewhere. Always started somewhere. We have our eye level, the middle of the building, and then the top of the building. So, now let's just talk, let's go back in here. Finish my little piece right here. Right in there like this, good. And then I gotta just use my Q-tip. Okay, so the important thing is just to make sure that you have some good shadows. And see, you can always take your eraser and accent that shadow. So you can come right down along here, show some of that weathered look in here. And then you can go a little bit darker and darker, but don't just have the ones coming up. See, and all I'm doing is just scratching. So long as you're going with the same contour line of your building, I wouldn't go sideways across. But of course I will go up and down, because it doesn't matter. Then you come back in with your Q-tip. It's always back and forth, back and forth. Then just soften that up a little bit. Right, and then if it looks too heavy, or not enough maybe I want to darken it a little bit more and heavy it up over here. Drag it down, give it a little more weather look. But again, you don't want to have twins right there. You don't want to have something right next to the same thing and start making it look like a fence. See, and then you just take little areas. Don't lose your window. Don't lose your window. There you go. Okay. And already, look at that. Now you could come over here, play with some of this, pull these down, and already it becomes weathered. Just that quick. And then with your little grays underneath there with the Q-tip, see, you can always go back in there. If you feel something's too heavy, soften it. But it's good to leave some of those heavy dark areas in there too, because they're very, very important to hold up the painting or the picture. Now, do the same thing in front. Right, let's just start playing with some of this. And you know how that all that stuff comes down and it just hangs, and where the rain hit it and the snow hung off it for a while. So, okay, let's see what's here. Okay, so now let's work on that for a moment. Okay, yeah, so you want to just balance that weatherness. A little bit there, a little bit here. Geez, you know, after today, I think it's tomorrow's the 1st of April, but there is no April this year. It's been canceled. So what are you gonna do? That happens. So I get to stay 61 again for another year, I suppose, because my birthday is in April. I believe it's the 14th and 15th. Yes, it is this year, and I think it's on a Wednesday, a Tuesday, or Wednesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm not too sure. See, now I'm getting too much in there, and I'm not liking that. So I'm just going to soften it. And if I don't like it at all, I could, because see, now it looks like radio waves, right? And I can always put anything I erase, I can always put it back. I know it's in there somewhere, so I'll put that line back in there for a 2x4 or a 2x6, whatever that thing is. Then every once in a while, come in and take the eraser and just little highlights here and there, but only up and down, only up and down. You want these nice and vertical, and that'll give you little areas where the sun's hitting it. Beautiful, looks great. Okay, let's see. All right, now this is a big, big building. All right, now while we have our, let's take our Q-tip, and we want to softly come down the side, okay? We don't want to go across because we want to have a contour line, right? So this one is going to go the angle of the roof and the angle of the roof here, okay? So don't go sideways with it, but you just want to go kind of like 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock, right there like that. And if it's not dark enough for you, I mean, you can make this as dark as you want too. You could have a heavy, heavy dark roof. And let's put one on there so that I can show you. I'm just going to throw this on here. See, and I'm just scratching. A little bit heavier than I normally would. Because with drawing, you never want to have a heavy line that you can't get rid of. But I know that this is our roof line, so I'm not really concerned. Okay, and I'm just trying to get that. I am cross-hatching, so with that, so I'm going this way, then I'm going this way. But the majority of my lines want to be going with the roof like that. Okay? I'm going to come up here. I'm going to do the same thing. You could soften this now if you like, right? Because then you get some great graphite in there. And then you could come right up, but that'll be another roof. So we'll come down here and do that one. And go with the contour of the roof. And I'm just going to fill that in real quick. Only for purposes for learning, of course. Like I said, this is only just to show you how to get there. I just want to just show you what excites me about drawing, because you could just take this anywhere and go and go and go and go. And this one here is like, what else is there? Well, there's, I was using a friend of mine's book and just thumbing through, and it looked kind of complicated, but I liked it. So, like I said, this one took me about three and a half hours. And this one so far, what? Took us an hour and a half, if that, I don't know. So, let's do our other roof. So I want this nice and dark, and then we're going to talk about that cupola. Cupola. I think we talked about it yesterday. It was a cupola Fran and Ollie. But that's really dating myself, because I think I watched that in black and white. And then came Miss Jane. After Miss Jane was Captain Kangaroo. After the Captain, I don't know what came after Captain. Budweiser, I don't know. So what I'm doing, I'm just gonna darken this up, nice and dark. And then of course this little roof went wee all the way home. But I get my new glasses. Well, all right. And see, now this doesn't look quite right to me, so I'm gonna fill it in. See how it overhangs too much? I don't want to get rid of that because I darkened it up too much that I think I might be in trouble. So what I'm going to do is just fill it up a little bit more, and then just play with it until I'm happy. There we go. See, now I'm going to have this side. Now we talked about this is going to have to be darker too, because this is a shadow side, like this is a shadow side, and this is a shadow side, right? So it's on that side. But then, see, and this is a shadow, and this is a shadow, and they're together, just like this building. This whole thing becomes the shadow, because this is all in shadow. Now, if these were separated, this would be light, this would be dark. So we could do that. I could show you how. I'll take this out just to say if it was a building not connected to the barn. We could just say. So I'm going to get a sharper eraser. See if I can get it in there. I should have used my kneaded eraser, but that's okay. All right, good enough for me. Okay, so that's good there. And let me see now. I didn't play too much with the darks and lights and the weathered wood over here. This kind of looks like it needs it, but you see how it just starts to come to life. Okay, and now we're not worried about any bushes or anything like that. And if you wanted bushes in there, we could do some of those too. But see, like right up in here. Now I know that there are bushes here. Okay, now we're going to work on the gazebo. If your gazebo is like mine, if you look at it closer, it looks like it's too tall and too thin. This one looks a lot better. It looks a little more believable, right? So what I want to do, I'm going to leave that same, I may shorten this line a little bit. Don't do this. If you're happy with yours, please don't do this. Okay, but I think what I want to do is bring my peak down to here and make it a little bit fatter. I don't think I want to make this bigger up here because it's not a church steeple. So I'm going to lightly take this out. And see, I got to be careful here now too, because if my lines were any darker, I'd be in trouble. Hopefully I could get that back into my sky. Maybe if it's a trouble spot, nothing I can do, I'll have to put some sort of tree behind there. But we'll see what happens, because see, I put my window in there, and I think the window should be okay. But let's see what happens. Well, we're just going to have to see what happens. What's going to be the outcome? Bum, bum, bum. All right, so I'm going to make the top of my roof the top of my gazebo now. Okay, so I'm going to just bring this here and shorten it down a little bit like that. I'm going to come around the edge on that side. And remember now, we have that little bit of a roof. And this roof, oh, look at that. My line almost followed the wrong one. There we go. And just like this. Now see how much stockier it looks? If this was way up here, it would have been too tall. Right, so this is all I wanted to do here. And again, we're going to put our lines in. Maybe a little window. I don't know if there's a window on all four sides. If there is, then I don't know. I guess I will. Just in case. And then a corner piece, you want that corner piece to be nice and dark in the middle to show that that's the side and the other side. Okay, so we'll call this the front and the side. So we did the side. Now you want to do the front. Nice dark one there, and then all your lines up and down. I gotta sharpen my pencil. You see, when you sharpen your pencil, it's like reaching in for more fresh paint. Okay, so when you have a dull edge, what's happening is you're just like fighting the paint on your brush to and mushing. All you're doing is making mud, like I started to do right there. So I want more precise lines. So I just sharpen my pencil, and that's that. Now what are we gonna do? Use our Q-tip, come right back in, and look at this very quickly. Look at that. I like it. Now, our roof, we got to define our roof a little bit. So I'm going to just come up here like that. Bring it down like that. Remember that roof, this line is this line. When that goes there, that goes there. Comes down, and this line is also this line. And see, now I'll darken that up. And looky there, I have a little bit of a ridge on that side. And I could come back in with the eraser and just kind of weather that up too, because you want that, you don't want it to not match. So then you can have some like this, some like that. Like I say, have them come up from the bottom and have them come down from the top. And then that gives you a beautiful weathered look. Okay, look at that already. And like I said, no time at all. Now, we need a foundation to hold this whole thing up, right? So what are we going to do? See how I pulled this out for a reason. Okay, where we have our rock wall and our stone foundation, where we have our stone foundation right to here, watch this, right? I can reference, right? I use my reference from my bridge, and see how these stones are different. These are more like cobblestones, they're more rectangle, and these are more rounded, like a belly stone, I guess you'd call it, right? So what you want to do is, if you want to do this, see, you make your stones and then you just round it on the inside. So what I mean by that is, let me see. Okay, so let's see, what I want to show you is, okay, let me just grab this paper. This was our mistake, not a mistake tape, but this was our teaching pad. Okay, so what you want to do with this then? What were we talking about? Oh yeah, the stones. Okay, so you could have like the cobblestones, or even bricks if you're doing bricks. Okay, so what you want to do when you're doing bricks, you want one in the middle. I mean, one brick, and then you have your line in the middle. This is how you lay bricks on the sidewalk. Okay, City of Cambridge taught me that. Okay, Jerry Rigo. And look at this. This line will always skip one and be right there. These will always meet to the middle, and that's how you do a sidewalk. Okay, even if you're going down a sidewalk. Okay, here's your, again, perspective, right? So here's our sidewalk. Gets smaller and smaller. We have our 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Always 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And don't worry about how long those lines go, because you don't want this line to go up like that, because then you make a wall to have to climb. So if these are nice and flat, then you go, right? So let's see. Yeah, so you have that, and you have that. 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then you have your bricks. And your bricks come right in. Let's make it a little cleaner. See, So then it's just imagine these are 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock going all the way down. Then you want to go down the middle, skip every one, right down the middle, right down the middle. Then you go off to the side, then off to see the wizard. Above it, above it, above. Okay? So there you go. So you can do it that way too. All right? And that's all I want to show you is right up inside here. You just want to color right up inside and get it nice and dark in here. See, like right in there. Just round those. Make sure that you round those off and you see that. See, this is a magical marker, a Sharpie that I shouldn't be using on a drawing. But just for your purposes, I'm going to do it. But see, look at that, right? And then see how those stones just come out. So here's the middle. There's another stone right there. And I'm just going to round it off and round it off to the next stone. And where it rounds off, I'm just going to put that little bit of like a gum or something, you know, like teeth in there. Okay, see like that? And then this will be rounded off like this, and eventually it's all done. But this is where drawing and painting differ, because this takes a lot of patience, a lot of time. You know, then you just come in and you scratch, you know, just smudge it and do whatever. But see, look at the richness of that, just alone like that. Then we come in here and do all that. But, you know, drawing is much different than painting. You know, what else I wanted to show you too, this guy, I got this book, William Powell. I think William Powell made a mistake. I was showing Mimi the other night, my neighbor, and see right here, we talked about eye level, right? So where would your eye level be on this painting, on this drawing? Where would it be? Where would it be? Now we're looking at a waterfall coming down, right? How beautiful that is. But there's something wrong. There's something wrong with this. And what I saw, if this was our eye level, okay, he want to show us that we're above, just like this is below, right? We're below that line, but he wants to show, so we're below this line, but he wants to show us that we're above. We can't be above and below at the same time. Where's our eye level? If our eye level is here, this wouldn't be seen. Now, if you want to pick up the eye level, which he, I guess, is trying to do, right? I would just come up here and see what this line throws me off. It's this line that throws me off. Because to me, this line should come across. And remember, squish those lines. So see what I did? It came up, make like a Z, and go across. Come down. See what I'm doing? I'm just opening up the water bed. Okay, so to me, the water should come all the way in here. And sure, you could have it run off that way. But if you wanted to pick it up, see, now even here, this wouldn't be right, because what you would see would be more, sure, you could see that, but it wouldn't be so dragged and pulled over. It would come across nice and straight, but remember, you want this waterfall to fall right over. Yeah, it could have a little bit of a roll, but it wouldn't be that much to push all this way out here. This is all the spray is what he's doing. Kind of sloppy, I thought. But see, what I'm thinking is this has to come down like this, and this is where the water falls over. You could even put a rock over here and have it come off this way. Make it even that much more believable. See? And then have it drag down and then fall. So when we put our stone right in here like this, see how the water, it has a place to go. It falls off this side. It has a place to go this side. But you would see, if you wanted to see that, yeah, that's okay. But this line needs to be picked up to at least here. At least there. In my eye, anyway. So, sorry, Billy Powell. But just a little something I saw there. But I bought the book anyways. I still bought the book. I think I bought it because of that. All right. Back to what we were doing, if I can remember where we were. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the stones. Okay, so let's make a foundation in here. And what we want to do is you make these, now remember, look at the windows. Your stones are not going to be these big, stupid things, right? They're going to be, but they wouldn't be as small that you can't see them either. So you want to show that there's some sort, again, if I was on a table, tomorrow I'm going to have to definitely put this on a table. But see, look, we can make stones big enough and believable enough. And don't try to match them all up. See what I'm going to do now? I'm just going to come halfway in. I'm going to extend that one a little bit. I'm going to make sure that, the one, start from the top and work your way down. Every stone that is sitting on the next one has to be sitting on the stone below it. So don't have an empty space, okay? So see, we'll say, I'm gonna start right here. And now I'm gonna fill in this spot where the halfway point, let me just color it in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. This right in here, and this again, is very, very painstaking. Look, I got this little fly. Come on. See, and I get this little bit. Just enough to make it look like. And you can bring this all the way down to, I don't know. You don't want to bring it any lower than here because this is going to be the bottom of our building anyways, okay? So don't go way down here with it. Because then you're just making a big, big wall way, way, way up there. Okay, so just make it big enough to make it believable, I suppose. And like I say, just so long as one stone is sitting on the next underneath it, and then you want to color these in. And this you could do while you're watching Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy tonight. I just want you to throw in all your rocks for now. So I'll be all cut up. So yeah, homework tonight would be color your rocks. And I'll see you at 12:30 after the news today, tomorrow. And I'm seeing some really good stuff, so I want to make sure that... oh, Lorraine's here. Oh, she just came back.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going.
No,
oh, Lorraine
all done.
Just came back from a how many mile run
just
today?
3.
3 miles.
Just 3
hey.
today. Too many dogs out.
Not too many dogs and
Yeah.
3 more miles than I care to run.
Oh.
So, I love you. Take a shower.
I am.
And wash your hands. Yeah, so just fill this in. You want to go all the way across. Now remember, this is, let's see, on this building, it looks like it goes down the hill a bit. Okay, so let's just extend this so it's not just right next to it. Just a little bit, to give it a little bit of height. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring this down. Okay, so what we want to do is we're looking for that 10 o'clock. Let's start throwing in some of these bushes right here, okay? Because like I said, after you put these rocks in, you don't want to have to erase them and put your bushes in, okay? So see how, let's make a little imagination here, and we'll say that there's a door here, okay? There's a little bit of a door, and we're not going to see it all. And then there's another one here. So maybe right on the side of the barn, there's 2 doors that go down underneath. But we don't want to show the whole square. Okay, we only show just that little bit. And on the right side, let's just make it a little bit longer than the one on the left. Okay, so this is already giving us our angle to where we're going to put our ground. Okay, and what I want to show you is what we're going to have to do here is, now we could, I don't want you to make a line like this. Don't make a line like that. But what I want you to do is just just think about that 10 minutes of 3. So you're starting off at 10. You're going toward the middle of the clock, right? And then, oh, there goes our original. And then you come out here and see, I need it. Oh. And see right down here in the ground, we're going with that 10 minutes of 3 luck. See? Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so see what we're doing? Right in here. So when you come down to the road, then you want to just kind of, just scratch in 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. All right, so I'm just going to scratch in where I think the road is. And remember, perspective, you want this to be smaller down here. And then as you get wider, as you get closer, you get a little bit wider. All right, but don't go immediately to come off like this because you don't want this big, big road, right? So let's see. I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to bring my angle because my other vanishing point is, well, my horizon line, I'm just going to have it go off here. So I'm not a hard line, but right in there like this, just to guide myself to show that that's where the road's going to go. And in here, somewhere in here, okay? So somewhere in here like that. I'm just going to go, see how it gets from smaller to bigger, and it's all that perspective, just like we talked about the other one. That's the road that we go down, okay? And we'll fill this in with bushes and things like this. So see, when you have things like this holding it in, and it looks like the road goes behind all these weeds and whatnot, that's what That's what makes it an impressive drawing. Okay, so these are all going to be 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And you could do this with your Q-tip, not even your Q-tip, but your cotton ball, just to get a grayish look in there, just to give yourself something. So you take that, there's the cotton ball, and see, I'm going to put this right back up there again. And now I'm just gonna rub that in there. But I'm gonna go 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, because that's what keeps it nice and straight. Okay. I got this thing going around the room. I didn't tell you, one of my students had given me a little while ago, and it's a prism that runs on solar light. I didn't think it was working one day, so I wrote to her and she says, "Well, is the sun out?" No. We'll wait for the sun. So now it throws all kind of colors and prisms all over the room. It's nice. Nice. So if you were just wondering if I had like a mirror ball or something, no, I didn't have the mirror ball. All right, now let's see. So we know that that's going to be our road. How do we get down to our road now? We got to get down to our road by just showing we want to just fake your eye into believing that there's vegetations and things like that, right? How can I hold this for better? All right, so let's see. So see, all I'm doing is I'm just going to go right across this window now, like that, and I'm not even concerned about coloring it in yet. See, what I'm going to do is I'm just scratching and making curlies and things like that, right? And then, just like we do with our ripples in the water, leave them continuous. Crush like I say, crush those lines together. You can have another one come off, but then the other one wants to go back immediately right up close to it. Okay? And see what that does? Now it gives you that look like grass is coming up. And don't forget, now you want to just kind of like block in all your stones. And then after you have that in there, see, like right in here. I don't know if you can see that, but right in here, your imagination takes over and it shows you that the stones are down behind all this vegetation stuffs, right? So take your time, put your rocks in first, and then just come down, and we're just going to scratch this in. And see what I did afterwards. I used my Q-tip or my cotton ball. I've got my grayish color in there, and then all I did was just like the ripples in the water, keep them nice and close, but show little dark areas, maybe scratching a little of this and that, anywhere and everywhere, just to make it look like it's rough, that you would hurt your foot if you walked barefoot on it. That's all we're looking for. So what else do we need for today? Like I said, just that, And let's not even worry about this side of the building yet, okay? Because that goes into another doorway, okay? And so let's not even worry about that. So right to this corner of the building, right? And you could have just a little bit. You don't want to come down like this, because if you come down like this, there's no way to walk up that. That's very tough. So you want your angle, like I said, 10 minutes to 3. Start off at 10 o'clock, go toward the middle of the clock, and then when you hit the middle of the clock, go 10 minutes to 3. And you could have some of these in the road. That's what all these are. And they're just high and low, make them look like grasses, and I'm just scratching and no rhyme, no reason, right? And just fill it in, because you don't want it all clean, because it's not snow. This is all dirt and whatever. So I know that this I want to start. See, I went too high with my grass. Okay, so maybe this comes down here and it's an extend. I don't know. Yeah, it could be taller then. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So this is going to be the corner of my building still, and then let me see. We have that door that goes into here. Oh, that's that. Okay, so we're fine. So. Yeah, and just scratch this in. So 10 minutes to 3, come down the hill, and then when you hit the road, you just come right across like this, high, low, skip around, little doodads, little scratches, little pokes here and there, and all you're doing, like I say, is just to make it rough looking. See, just to make it rough looking. Not a big deal. Okay. So take your time with this tonight. Like I say, while you're watching Wheel of Fortune, be coloring this in too. color in your doors, but not black, 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 okay? But just color in your 2 little doors right there. And then I'll show you what we do with that tomorrow. Actually, no, I don't want to do it tomorrow. I'll do it today because I'll forget. I don't know why I forget things, but I do. Okay, so that's that. Now let's, if you have your eraser, if you have, I don't know if you have a separate eraser, or if you have one on your pencil. So I'm going to use the one on the pencil just in case. I want to make sure it's and sometimes, you know, if it's a brand new pencil, you definitely want to like scratch it up and make sure, because there's like some schmagma on there or something, and if you get that on your drawing, it's horrible. So yes, okay, so let's go in here now. It gets darker as we go into there, right? So let's have this outside. Now remember, in between here is going to be, in between our doors is going to be stones, right? And rock, so you want to make that the rock foundation. Throw that in there so you don't forget. And then just, the rest of it is going to be fine. Okay, then we're going to take our eraser. And right up here in the top left, let me see if I can get it closer to you, because it's so far back. But see, right up here in the corner, we're just going to come right up in here and let that fade. Oh, looks like the show is over again. Oh, that was a quick hour. But look how much detail we got on here today. Awesome. Fantastic. And see what we're going to do here? And then we just come in. And it just, instead of just having a black like our roof, it'll give us a little something. Then we could come back in and just enough to make it more believable. Then when you come way back here at the darkest part of that, that's where you come out. See? So right across the top, nice and dark across the top. And then as you go in there, it gets darker and deeper. Ooh, get out of there. Get out of there. But see how that already gives you the feel like you're going into it. All right? Well, I guess that's today's show. And that was very quick. I do want to show you really quick, though, my painting of the kayaker. So let me see. Come with me. Oh, there he is. Look at that. So, oh, let me see. I'll get down on it. Let's see. Okay. Now, see what I did there? His head is kind of roundish, and I'm not really too concerned about the kayak. I sketched him in quick, and I'm paying more attention right back here. Okay. Now, the rest of the paint, this is oil paint, so it'll take forever to dry. I don't want to touch nothing. I certainly don't want to get that on me because I'll go insane. So we'll see, and we'll see what happens. But the water down here is going to be, it's going to be fantastic. You'll see the reflection of this. You'll see the ripples in the water. You'll see the kayak, the dripping coming off here, off the paddles. And but this guy's up a creek, but at least he's got the paddle. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.